brother and sister, it is my honor, of course, to able to share perspective on the laity in forum attended by intellectual and professional from all over the country. Well, as the moderator introduced it in advance, my name is Paulinus from Indonesia. My presentation will be based on the final document of the ASEAN Assembly on Synodal and also Africa Synodal Continental Assembly. So I like to give some input or additional about my presentation. Well, I start with the Asia today, as I present this in my presentation that nowadays all the population in Asia is about 4.6 billion, and it is the biggest numbers around the world. But the population, the Catholic population is only 3.31%, or it is about 150 million. Even though it is, we have Asia has small numbers, but I think it is right for us that the final document of the Synod said that the contributes greatly to fields of education, healthcare, social welfare, and reaching out the poor and marginalized groups in society. It's meant that Catholic position has a good position, good reputation among the Asia region. But okay, before if the final document said that Catholic position is reputed enough, but from the process, the Synod in Asia, I can share some condition or some tension what's happened in Asia. The first tension is in living synodality. The church is composed of people from all states of life, clergy, consecrate, and laity, and yet there is to be kind of divide within the church, between the clergy and laity, bishop and priests, and also the church and political authorities, and also between the religions, as indicated many of the reports. In the spirit of participatory church, the experience of leadership, the servant model needs greater attention for living synodal. That's the first tension, what happened in Asia. The second tension is about decision making. It was noted that some places collaborative responsibility in discernment and decision making process was lacking, often left to only priest or bishop. The voice of the minority and even the laity are not considered in this process. That's also happened in Asia. The third tension is about priestly vocation. It was also noted that the excessive critical view of the clergy has contributed to the decrease in vocation to the priesthood in some parts of Asia. There are areas in Asia where there is growing need for priests to serve and for the faith to the continually good. And the tension number 4 is about the woman involvement. In many of churches in Asia, the participation of women in the everyday life in the church is significant. However, there is a lack of the presence of the woman in leadership roles. That's also happened in Asia. And the next tension is about youth. A common phenomenon, I think, that noted it is reported the absence of youth in Asia church. Given that they are from significant number in Asia, it is approximately 65%. They are relatively absent in the life of the church. I think it is also our tension, what happened in Asia. And the sixth one is about the poor. Like a mother in a poor Asia family with many children who struggle and at time not adequate care for the church, Asia also struggle and painful embrace a great number of poor and marginalized people. That's the sixth tension in Asia. And the seventh one is religion conflict. It is also one of the Asia tension that even though there is a diversity of religion across Asia, there are also growing religious conflict and even persecution. For example, I also can share to you that in Indonesia, in my country, for example, the permission to build a church is quite difficult to obtain. So it is happened. So how difficult we build a new church in Indonesia. And the last one is about clericalism. Among the expression of clericalism are lack of the consultation in administrative matter, dormitory attitudes, and sense of entitlement shown by those in authority, special priests, over exertion of power of the people, and etc. And facing this tension, the Bishop Conference in Asia on Synod has decided the 6 priorities for the synods. Number 1 is about formation. For synodal church, there needs to be initial and ongoing formation at all levels for all people, beginning with the families and basic ecclesiastical communities. Seminarians, priests, bishops, men and women must be formed to live synodal. Number 2, from the priority is the inclusivity and hospitality. The women, youth, and those marginalized or excluded with special attention to the abandoned, also significant pastoral care should be provided to divorced, remarried, single parents, broken families, persons with abilities, and others. They need to support and info from us. The response number 3 regarding missionary disciplines. In the context of Asia, we must learn how to prophetically witness and whisper to the gospel into one and another. While recognizing the Christian are minority in Asia, the incomparable witness of Asian martyr provides a challenge and the source of the uncovered. And number 5, about prayer and worship. Prayer and worship, Asia prayer and worship must reflect and touch the hearts of ASEAN people. And the last one regarding the environment, it is also to be concerned to be the priorities of the synod response in Asia, that care for the common home, the church must be at the forefront. It not only protecting Mother Earth, but also healing. That's the 6 response priorities in Asia. Okay, let's be moved to Africa. As like I mentioned in the previous, that I also took this document from Bishop Conference, Africa Bishop Conference on Synodal, that they reflect, there are 6 question reflection from Africa. Number 1 is, what social mechanism do we put place for reflecting the diversity of cultures? Number 2, how will the synodal church be more empathic and promote considerate solidarity? Number 3, what is the understanding of truth and the principle of mercy? Number 4, where will synodality be taking us as we listen to the voices of diverse people? Number 5, how will the local church implement of all this point? Number 6, what will be the criteria for this? What will be the criteria for discernment and decision making? Brother and sister, 6 reflection from Africa. I think it is based on the synod result, and it is collect from the condition in Africa. And from that reflection, we can also read in the document the conclusion of synod in Africa. Number 1 is deepening Catholic synodality according to the value of the church as family of God. Number 2, listening to the African voices in cultural, when collaborating and doctrine and teaching of the church. Number 3, promoting conflict resolution by fighting against economics, colonials, and illegal exploitation through the promotion of good governance, justice, and also the peace. Number 4, practicing inculturation and liturgical renewal in order to respond to the aspiration, participation, and overall growth of the African faithful. And number 5, being synodal as the way of being church, and hence the necessity for ecclesial formation. Number 6, strengthening the concept of subsidiarity at the level of the church of life. And number 7, being family is an important structure in the promotion of the synodal church. And number 8, the last one, is promoting ecological justice and stewardship as way of life, the synod church. From Asia and Africa, we can learn that there is some similarity about the condition, about the laity perspective about life. And according to two regions, Asia and Africa, what can we find? I think Pope Francis has made a synodality a hallmark of his papacy by involving the laity in the synod process. Through this methodology of inclusive participation, the result of synod will be better internalized and put into the action by the laity. We can see from the final document that involved of the laity has been supporting, has been contribute some opinion, some reflection from laity, and it is try to show the reality, the church today, the church. And we can see also that Catholic remain about 17.7% of the global population. And we can see that in Asia and Africa, there is a big enough growth that Africa is about 2.1% and Asia 1.8%. If we compare with the Europe, the increase was just 0.3%. It's mean that the future of the church, of the experiences of the synod, is a reflection from big numbers of the population, of the Catholic population in the world. And we also see that the result of synod in Asia and Africa so to be a challenge for the laity as they are being included to play a more effective roles. And the last one, we can find that the synod for synodal church invites us to dialogue with each other, to listening one another, and to discern God will together. Brother and sister, laity can start. And how we can start it? Number one, we have to aware, we have to understand that the laity are not guests of the church. Yeah? The laity is executor of God's mission. It is the laity is also a part of the church. From the synod, we can see that contribution from the laity is quite big, and how we can contribute to respond the synod as a lay movement, because I know all of us, most of us come from the movements. Number one, please be actively involving in disseminating the synod result. We can share in the social media, we can share the blog by writing. We also can to be a speaker in school, in the university, in our parish. Please kindly to disseminating the synod result. So laity will proud that their voice is noted to be synodal document. And as a lay movement, please take the essence of synodal result to the workplace. I mean, you can, all of us can take the results to be part of our activity in our workplace. Number three, we also can invite the various interfaith cultural network for synodal reflection. Because if we read, if we try to understand all the final document of the synods, we can see it is not about the Catholic issues. It is about humanity. All is about humanity. All is about the world. So I think it is time for us to invite